What up, CYBORG? We back, man. Talking about this Virgil Ortiz fight against Kenchuk, man. This one was definitely everything the fans bargained for, man. We really got a nice showing, man, like a performance out of fucking hell, man. These dudes were out there throwing some serious fucking bombs. I mean, they was just knocking the fucking roof off the top with the motherfucking hits they were throwing, man. Virgil, you know, he definitely, you know, put on a performance that I was really very satisfied with watching, man. And Kenchuk, man, he just made it even better, man, by putting up so much resistance, putting up so much pressure, and throwing them fucking hands, letting them hands go from the moment these motherfuckers got in the ring, you know what I mean? And shout out to both of them, man. What a tremendous fight. And now the controversy, man, everybody want to know who the fuck really won this fight. Because when you think about it, man, it was close all the way, I'm going to say, you know, hands down, the real winners of this, man, is definitely has to be the fans, you know what I mean? Because we got like a really nice treat, man. This was like a boxing match that is definitely one for the ages. Right now, you know, it's being hailed obviously as a candidate for Fight of the Year. And all you got to do is watch the first round to figure out why, man. This shit is definitely up there, man. Like, this is like one of those Hagler Hearns kind of experiences, you know what I mean? It's like a fucking Gotti Ward type of brawl. It's what we expected out of the Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence drama. Man, it's everything you look for in like a really exciting fight, you know what I mean? Two guys that are like, you know, in the ring, they just look like they're so evenly matched, man, for all the war, all the drama. And this one really paid off for the fans, man. You know, but getting down to the technical shit about who actually fucking won this fight, man, personally, I think it should have been a draw. I think Virgil put up enough, you know, enough action to edge out the win by enough rounds had there not been these knockdowns that had taken place, right? Now, knockdowns, you know, in boxing, you know what I mean? Like, it can be just a technical kind of thing, man. Such as what happened with Virgil. You know, 2 times this motherfucker, he put his fist on the floor. When you're in the middle of action and somehow you end up with your fist on the floor, you may not see it as you falling, but if you didn't put your fist down there, technically you might have just fell over any fucking way. So there's a rule in boxing, man. You can't put your fist on the floor. It's called the knockdown, and that shit happened 2 times with Virgil. So I see like why some fans might be like, man, that's not even a real knockdown. That's not even a real knockdown, motherfucker. In boxing terms, it actually is, okay? And that's what the fuck counts. I mean, the rules that you're going by when you start the fight is what the fuck rules you're supposed to, you know, abide by, you know what I mean? So it's not, you know, from a fan's perspective, yeah, I don't really necessarily like it all the time. There's a couple of things I don't like in boxing. That's one fucking rule right there. I mean, but again, you know, you're supposed to stand up on your feet, not on your fucking hands. And you know, the rule's there for that. Again, I'm not too crazy about the rule. But the other rule is, you know, it's a rule that's good, and then it's like it's very selectively used by the referee or by the corner. Sometimes it's when a fighter gets hit when he's already down. You know, like for instance, somebody is slumped over on their knee already, and you in the middle of like, you know, maybe just a lot of like, you know, an action-packed moment, you tag the dude by mistake. You know what I mean? Like, I understand if you hit a motherfucker on purpose and you just being malicious about it, and you just really trying to hurt a dude. But sometimes you are in the middle of just throwing a fucking, you know, hailstorm of fucking blows to bring this motherfucker down, and you don't know that you're supposed to stop because this motherfucker's still in front of you as far as you can tell. You know, you're so close to the fighter that you're throwing these hands and you're not checking to see where his legs are at, like how far down this motherfucker is if he's already touching the canvas. And it happens sometimes, man. It reminds me of a Roy Jones fight back in the day when he got his first loss. His first loss wasn't a loss at all. He whooped this dude's ass, and the motherfucker, he just got a little overzealous and he hit the dude while he was down. And that motherfucker's corner quick and jumped on that shit. It's like, oh no, he got to be disqualified. And that's how Roy Jones lost his first fight, man. It was a disqualification. And the same dude, he comes back the next fight and knocks this motherfucker out in round 1. So there'll be none of that other bullshit, you know what I mean? But again, some of these rules exist for good reasons, but they're not all the time enforced, you know what I mean? They're not always enforced depending on who's involved, you know what I mean? Like certain refs, they might just kind of give you a hard warning or something like that, and then some corners, they'd be like, yo, we're about to lose this fight if we don't take advantage of this opportunity to say, oh, this guy, he broke the rule, and it just goes down like that, man. But Virgil, I think if there were not these knockdowns, he would actually win the fight on points, because every fucking round was close. There was no not close round. I just think he won enough of those close rounds to really have won the fight pretty fairly, again, without these superficial knockdowns that were that should have been addressed in the scoring, you know what I mean? And I think this is where the judges, they got it wrong, man. This shit should have been a draw. I saw Virgil winning enough close rounds to have the rounds in the bag, but when you have these 10-8 rounds where you're basically, in those particular rounds, you're behind the card, man. It's like the dude winning 2 rounds for the one that he's winning. You know what I mean? So that has to count, man. And I think Kenchuk got a raw deal in this one. I think the judges, they should have ruled it a draw, man. I think the guy was definitely going to lose the fight had those knockdowns not been in place on Virgil. But Virgil did not win this fight. He didn't lose the fight, but he damn sure didn't win the fight. And I think that's because the judges, man, they just made a bad decision, man. I think this fight was definitely worthy of a draw, and it gave the fans everything that we wanted, probably a little bit more than we fucking deserved, you know what I mean? As much bullshit fights we've been putting up with, you know what I mean? Shit, to get one like this, shit, you just feel special, man, to like witness a fight like that, you know what I mean? It's definitely, like I said, one for the ages, but the judges, they got this shit wrong, and we're definitely already eyeing the rematch, you know what I mean? There's a rematch clause somewhere in there, and everybody really is gonna want to see this next fight, man. If you saw 5 seconds of this first fight, you definitely want to see, 3 seconds of the next fight, because this shit is definitely something to keep your eyes out for, man. A candidate of the year, a fight of the year type of fight. It's definitely a good look for boxing in a way, but then a black eye for boxing at the same time, because these judges keep on fucking up, man. They just be watching fights that nobody else is watching. The judges, sometimes the commentators, these motherfuckers are out of line, and somebody need to, somebody need to find a way to hold these motherfuckers accountable, man. You need to have like guidelines for these motherfuckers, man. They need their eyes checked, or they need their morality checked, or some shit, because there's something crazy going on with the judges, man. People who watch boxing occasionally can tell that, a dude he has to get credit for 2 knockdowns. What the fuck don't you understand about scoring this type of fight, man? Like, this dude, it's not even 1 knockdown where it's like, oh man, maybe, bro, like this, it was a close fight. If Virgil was kicking this dude's ass, like with no consequence of being up close to this motherfucker, fine. But this wasn't the case, man. These dudes were like, each of them were just like 1 swing away from knocking the next motherfucker out. And that was the whole fucking fight, from the first blow to the last, man. So you can't just give away a dude's belt like that and just be like, oh, I'm a judge, so I'm gonna go home and take a nap or some shit. And that's basically what they be doing, man. These motherfuckers, they watch these guys go through all these rigorous training, come up the ranks and whoop a lot of ass just to get credit to be on the stage that night and put on a show, and then they take it away from them. You know, it's not making Virgil look any fucking better by giving him a fucking a dude's belt that he didn't actually beat. I think physically he beat the motherfucker, you know what I mean? But technically is how you can't judge the fight like a fan. You got to judge the fight like a judge. As a fan, my eye test says Virgil was gonna win that fight, you know, but for those superficial knockdowns where his fists were touching the floor. Fine, but that's how I fucking feel. I don't get paid to do no judging this shit, you know what I mean? I just sit around like everybody else and appreciate the fight and bitch and moan about the fight as I find something I don't appreciate about it, right? That's for fucking free. You motherfuckers are getting paid to sit there, you know what I mean? You're entrusted with a proper, sensible fucking judgment. And when the average fan can tell that you don't know what the fuck you're doing or you don't give a fuck about doing it, and somebody needs to step in and find a means to course correct, you know what I mean? Make sure these judges are being held accountable. Give them real fucking standards to abide by, man, because this is crazy. Like, these dudes, they work their ass off to have a good fight, you know what I mean? And to show out, and then you take it away from them. You know what I mean? That's basically what you're doing. So, the Ukrainian boxer, man, Kenchuk, what a hell of a fighter. He put on a good show. I was rooting for Virgil the whole time, but I didn't want to see him win like this, you know what I mean? Because that's not a win, that's a fucking, you know, this is a judges just doing what the fuck they be doing, man, and it's crazy. So, the real winners right now, like I said, man, it's us, it's the fans, because we got a good show, and then we know, you know, what's in store for the rematch. Or whoever gets in the ring with any of these two guys, you know, we know at least they bringing it, you know what I mean? So shout out to them, and you know, the judges, man, they just need to get their shit together, man, because they ain't doing shit but fucking shit up. So that's it, man. Virgil did not lose the fight, but he didn't win the fight. Kenchuk did not lose the fight, and he didn't win the fight neither. He wasn't gonna win that shit, but they should have had a draw. That's where I'm at with this shit, man. Check y'all next time. Peace.